When you think of the greatest catchers in baseball history, one name always comes to mind: Johnny Bench. But even among legends, there's usually that one season where everything comes together, where the talent, the confidence, the timing, it all clicks. For Johnny Bench, that season was 1972. This wasn't just an MVP year. This was a season where he dominated the game from both sides of the plate, where he controlled pitchers, shut down the running game, and still put up the numbers that most hitters could only dream about. Today, we're going back to 1972 to break down the greatest season of Johnny Bench's career, and one of the greatest seasons ever by a catcher. By 1972, Bench was already a star. Rookie of the Year, established as one of the best catchers in baseball. But this was a turning point. The Cincinnati Reds were on the rise. This was the beginning of what would soon become the Big Red Machine. And right in the middle of it all was Bench. Not just producing, but leading. Because catchers don't just play the game, they control it. They call pitches, manage pitchers, see everything unfold in front of them. And in 1972, Johnny Bench wasn't just part of that system. He was the engine behind it. Now let's talk about what he did at the plate, because this was where things take off. Johnny Bench hit 40 home runs in 1972. 40. As a catcher in that era, that alone is incredible. But he didn't stop there. He drove in 125 runs, leading the National League. And these weren't quiet numbers. These were big moments. Clutch at bats, situational hitting, games where he completely took over. And what made Bench so dangerous? He wasn't just a power hitter. He was complete. He could hit for average, he could work counts, and if you made a mistake, he made you pay for it. Pitchers couldn't find a safe way to attack him, because there really wasn't one. Now this is where Johnny Bench separates himself from almost everyone else: his defense. He wasn't just good behind the plate, he was elite. In 1972, Bench won his 5th consecutive Gold Glove Award. Think about that. 5 straight years as the best defensive catcher in the National League. That kind of consistency at that position is rare. And then there's the arm. Runners didn't just think twice about stealing. They were getting thrown out. Bench led all National League catchers by throwing out 56.4% of would-be base stealers. Over half. At a time when the running game was a major part of baseball, Bench was shutting it down. Teams had to change how they played just because he was behind the plate. And beyond the numbers, it was how he handled the pitching staff, calling games, framing pitches, controlling tempo. He made pitchers better. That's something you don't always see in a box score, but you see it in wins. Bench wasn't reacting to the game, he was dictating it. That's what made him different. When the season wrapped up, there wasn't much debate. Johnny Bench was named the National League MVP. And it wasn't just about the numbers. It was about the completeness of his game. Power, defense, leadership. He did everything. And when you look back today, 1972 still stands as one of the greatest seasons ever by a catcher. So the question is, was 1972 the greatest season ever by a catcher? it's definitely in the conversation. And for Johnny Bench, it was the season that defined his legacy. The year where everything came together, and he showed the baseball world exactly who he was. One of the greatest to ever do it. And this was his best season.
One and two. The one. And the pitch to Bench. James hit in the air to